Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him.
Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, and we're going to continue our overview of Pure Drip, the dope trap native instruments expansion for Maschine battery, and I think it can be used even with the I think you can even use the samples. But in the first video, what we kind of dealt with was we dealt with the drum kits to kind of let you hear what the drum sound like. Now, something that a lot of people don't really pay attention to is that there are some really dope actual instrument sounds or synthesizer sounds that come with these expansion packs. And so if we look here at the website, we can see it says it has 11 massive presets, 5 Monark presets, 5 Reaktor Prism presets, and it has 1 bass synth preset, 10 drum synth presets. We're not going to worry about patterns and projects today. But I want to kind of let you hear how those sound. And then I think what I'm going to do next, we're going to conclude this video. So this video is going to be a little quicker than the others. It's going to be a lot shorter than the first one. But what I want to do is let you hear the actual synthesizer sounds, man. These things are absolutely dope. And so the first category, to save time, I already have loaded them all up into different groups. So the first group is going to be the 11 massive presets, the 11 massive presets. So bear with me on this first one. It seems to be somewhat of a subtone, so it has a long decay, but let's see how it sounds. That preset is called 8 something, 8 something. The next preset is called Airdrop. I like that. The next preset is called Ballet. I like that. I can hear that definitely in trap. The next one is called Check Out My EP, electric piano. I'm pretty sure that's electric piano. Dope. I really like that. You know, those types of sounds are really popular in trap. The next sound is Island Bliss. The next sound is Lows. The next sound is Mesmerize. The next sound is Mesmerize too. More of a pad sound. The next sound is Organisms Live. Oh, I'm sorry, Organisms Live. That's dope. I like that. The next sound is called Sickly Bass. The next sound is called That's Plucked Up. Dope. Those are some pretty nice sounds. Those are the massive sounds. And so the next group of sounds is from the Monark. It's from Monark. Let's see what we got. First sound is called Ancient. Next sound is called Fright Night, one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Hope to watch it during the Halloween season. I like that. That's dope. The next one is called Honey Mustard. I like that. The next one is called Rough and Rugged. Nice. The next one is called Whistleblower. Nice. Nice. The next group of sounds come from Reaktor Prism. First sound is Brash Delivery. Dope. A lot of these sounds, they sound kind of horror-like, don't they? Sound kind of horror-like. Or dark sounds, which is typically what trap is kind of like. Next is the Minnesota Beach. I like that. The next one is called Serenade. I like that. The next one is called Souls. The next one is called Terrestrial. You could definitely hear these sounds, like I said, in like horror trap, or not necessarily horror trap, but the dark trap in the minor keys. I could definitely hear these sounds being used. The last group is what I'm assuming is I'm thinking this is what I have loaded up. But yeah, this is exactly what I have loaded up. It is the synth percussion sounds that come from the built-in drum synth that is inside of Maschine, which I don't use enough, but it's very, very good. There's just so many things to do inside of the Maschine software. I don't use it enough, but there are 10 sounds plus a drum, and I think they said 11, but I found 10 plus one bass synth sound. So the first one is called Bass I'll Be. Like that bass. Next is the closed I'll Be 1. Closed hi-hat I'll Be 2. Closed hi-hat Jetsons. Next, kick I'll Be 1. Kick I'll Be 2. Open hi-hat I'll Be. Open hi-hat Jetsons. Next is shaker I'll Be. Next is snare I'll Be 1. Next is snare I'll Be 2. Okay, so that does it for the sounds, but I want to show you one more thing I forgot about. I want to show you this. I definitely want to show you this before I let you go. Typically, whenever you load up the drum kits on Native Instruments Maschine, you will typically find where if they have like loops and things on certain keys, you can hold the loops down until you can hold them down and they will continue to play until they'll continue to play if you have the play button down, or they'll continue to play until the sample ends. Well, I noticed on the Pure Drip samples, they're a little bit off. So you're going to have to do a workaround if Native Instruments checks this out. I don't know if anyone else has said anything to Native Instruments about this, but there is definitely a problem with the drum kits that have the loops on them. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's just load up the airbag kit. Okay, so we have the airbag kit loaded up. And as you can see, Now, these 4 pads are supposed to be loops. I know this because the tempo is beside them, and it's giving you the key that the loop is in. Now, the workaround you're going to have to use, unless Native Instruments gives us some kind of update, and I've went inside of all the sampler controls and tried to mess with the ADSR and ADHR and change all the settings. It's not working the right way for some reason. So what you'll have to do is, if you really want to use those loops, you'll actually have to go here and hit the loop button, and you have Pure Drip, and it'll ask you what you're looking for. Well, what you can go back and do is you go back and look up Airbag, which is the kit. Airbag, we type that in. Click on the loops. I'm on the samples. Click on the loops. That's loops. Click, type in Airbag. There they are. Here are all the loops. These are the loops. These are combos that let you hear what the entire loops sound like together, but here are the actual loops. So what you'll have to do, if you want to use those, you'll have to make a different group. You'll have to come in. You will actually have to drag and drop. You will actually have to drag and drop each one of those loops onto a sound pad. And that's going to be the only way you're going to be able to use them the way that you want. So that's the issue. I don't know what's going on. You normally don't have to do loops like this. I actually re-downloaded Pure Drip and thought that would fix the problem. And I even have the Maschine on my MacBook Pro. Downloaded the expansion. It's the same exact problem. So I don't know what it is. We're probably going to have to report this to Native Instruments. I don't know if they designed it like that this time or what, but there is definitely something wrong with the way you have to play with the loops. It's not a huge deal. I mean, I can still work with it, even though I don't typically use the loops in this manner anyway. The only loops that I will typically use are maybe some loops to give some atmosphere for the most part, but I don't really use a lot of loops in the way I produce or make beats. I like to make my own stuff because at the end of the day, I don't want to deal with copyright issues, or even if it's not copyright issues. I just like to do, I just like to kind of do me. And typically what I like about Native Instruments is they'll really have some dope hits or some dope chord hits and little sound effects. I use those in my beats all the time, but I don't typically use like entire loops unless they're for just texture, like I said, for some kind of ambience. But other than that, it's not a big deal to me. But it's definitely something that Native Instruments probably needs to look into. But this is going to conclude this video. Like I said before, Pure Drip Overview Part 2. I did something that I normally don't do, and I don't think other people do this either. They don't never load up the sounds that actually come with these expansions, and I'm noticing that even myself, I've never really taken advantage of some of the sounds until I started playing with the Chromatic Fire expansion, which is free. Which is free. Go check that out on Native Access. But I actually love the sound. My last beat that you can hear on my channel right now, called Epic, I made that all with Chromatic Fire, and I used the actual synth sounds that came with that expansion to make the melody and things like that. So I'm really digging this Pure Drip. I think I'm actually going to do about 10 to 15 beats alone just using Pure Drip. So I'm gonna make a whole playlist of those beats, and who knows, I may release them or something on Spotify just as a dope little album or something, or iTunes, a little dope little instrumental album of nothing but beats. But that's going to conclude this video. If you have a Maschine, if you have complete control, because that means you have battery, I highly suggest that you go out and get Pure Drip if you do trap music. It is definitely aimed towards trap music, unlike Laser Dice, which was kind of all over the place. But Pure Drip is exactly what it says. Pure Drip. Dedicated to trap. You can do some R&B, you can do some pop, you can do some EDM. But once you listen to these kits, you know that they definitely targeted the trap industry. So that's going to conclude this video. Until the next video, keep grinding, keep inspiring. I am the G. I'm out. Peace.